Hey everybody, my name is Brian and I own a small computer repair place in South Florida, and today we are going to dismantle a Sony Vaio laptop. This one is it's a fairly new one. I don't know, it's a PCG-71913L, and it's running Windows 7, and this particular issue with this one is that it runs for about 10 minutes and then it shuts down. And the reason it's doing that is because the primary fan, well, there's only one fan in this laptop, fan has failed, and so we are going to dismantle it, pull the fan out, and get the part number so that we can order a new one and throw a new one in. You could use this guide also to clean the fan if you needed to know how to do that as well, because we're going to go all the way down to the CPU itself. So a couple of tools you're going to need for this: 3.5mm magnetic tip screwdriver, really handy. I don't know, a couple of dental tools, can of dust off, you know, it's probably a good idea to have. I have this bin for my screws. I make these myself. I have another video that shows you how to make your own. If you do a lot of this kind of work, this is really handy to have. So we keep our screws organized. And I'm working on an anti-static mat. I get a lot of questions about that. It's probably a good idea to have something like that. I live in South Florida. You know, the humidity levels are at 80%, but you know, we don't have a lot of problems with static. But if you're up north, you're going to have static, especially in the winter, so just be careful about that, alright? Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and unlock this battery, pull this battery out. And, so we're going to take all the power source. This thing does not have any power to it, and that's really key, so you really want to make sure you remove all your power. And we're going to pull every screw out of the bottom of this thing. So if you can see the screw, it needs to come out, alright? Also, a couple other handy little tools, spudgers. These are like little black sticks. Let's put them here so you can see them. These are the same tools that Apple uses to dismantle things. And so they're non-marring tools. They're really handy. And let's get started. So this is kind of a long process to do this, but it shouldn't take us more than an hour, I wouldn't think, to get all the way down to where we need to be. This is the hard drive screws holding that in. Pull that out. I have a bin set up in my little organizer there that says HD, so that's easy enough. And so right here is the CD-ROM screw. There's always a screw holding in that CD-ROM, and these things slide right straight out. And then we have all these bottom panel screws, so anything I can see I'm going to go ahead and pull out of the bottom panel. And I have a bottom panel section in my organizer. Sony Vaios, the way they assemble these, it's a little bit different than a lot of the other manufacturers. The whole top plate comes off, and like the motherboard comes with it, which is interesting. Oh, I missed a screw. I even double checked and I missed a screw. How's that possible? I always miss a screw, that's why. It's inevitable. Ah, there we go. So the bottom panel comes off. And alright, so we're right straight squared away with this fan. And now it's plugged in. I mean, I can see it's there. Yeah, a lot of people are going to look at this and think that this is nuts that I'm doing this. This is how you fix computers sometimes, okay? So it isn't always straightforward, and it isn't always safe. I know what I'm doing, and I feel confident in what I'm up to, so that's why I'm doing this. Yeah, it turns on, and on the screen here I have an operating system not found, okay? But as you can see, we get no response from this fan whatsoever. And that fan should be spinning. So, we know that that fan is most likely failed. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this plug, and we are going to take the screws out that hold this fan in. So you may have to pull the whole cooling system off. GPU. The screw holding that on, it's all one piece. Okay. Now, this is the culprit right here. And so what we're going to do is, this guy needs to be replaced, okay? And we are going to go on eBay or Amazon and find a replacement model and have it shipped in, and then we'll pop it back in and we'll see at which point. Oh, this is interesting. It's a big chunk of plastic in there. It's just floating around. I don't think it was impeding the blades, though. Not at all. I don't think that was the case. So, all right, we'll order the parts and we'll come back and revisit this. If you were going to clean this setup, you're now at the point where you can blow all the dust out of this fan, reapply thermal paste, and reassemble. Sony's design is really progressive. I mean, you pull that bottom panel off and you can get right in. You don't have to pull the keyboard off or anything. That's some software or laptop manufacturer should take note. This is a really nice design. I like this. You know, pull that whole bottom panel off and you get right into it. So, all right, let's order the part, and we'll revisit this when the part comes in. All right, so it's been a couple of days, and the new part came in, and looks right, looks good. So I didn't have the option of actually buying just the fan. I wish I would have been able to, but I couldn't just find that fan. I could only find the whole piece. Alright, so not a problem. We'll make it work. But it was considerably more expensive. Alright, so we grab our thermal paste, and we're going to apply thermal paste in the grain of rice method across the CPU and across the GPU, the graphics processor. Okay, and close that up. We're going to set this in place. And we're going to screw it down in an X pattern. There's numbers on these that you can follow if you so choose. But make sure you go in an X pattern when you screw everything down. And screw down the GPU clip. And we're going to go ahead and plug in the fan. Alright, so we ran it for a little while, and the fan did kick on nicely the way we wanted it to. So I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this thing, put the bottom panel back on, and we're going to let it, you know, obviously run for a little bit while longer with the panel back onto it. So so we got everything we need. The Sony's really easy to get to the motherboard, which is nice with this bottom panel design. It's a pretty cool little design they've got going on. I think the one thing you want to pay attention to when you're reapplying this bottom panel is this little switch right here for the wireless. And you want to kind of make sure that that switch is working. Because I think it's kind of dictated as how that works. It's dictated by the seating of this piece of plastic. So just got to pay attention. Snap everything back in. As well as good as you can. Okay. And you have a couple of panels here. CD-ROM can go back in. Hard drive that can go back in. Okay. She's coming back on, and we're going to let her run for a little while to see how the cooling goes. Now with the cover off, the fan ran okay and it did alright, but I guess by reading some things online that this laptop is notorious for overheating. So although we like the Sony design, we just want to make sure we keep them cool and that those fans run okay. Apparently the old fan was bad and that we needed to replace that, so that's a good thing. And let's let it run for a little while. We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty sure this one we can mark off as repaired. Thank you so much for watching. Please ask any questions in the comments, even if it doesn't pertain to this video. That'd be fine. I'll try to answer everybody's questions. Please like, please subscribe if you're a computer tech person and you like this kind of work. I do a lot of these types of repairs. I don't do a lot of desktop stuff. I do a lot of more laptops. I mean, I don't videotape the desktop stuff. I just do the laptops. Most of the desktop stuff's fairly simple stuff to know. But anyhow, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day.